Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brant Fowler, and I'm ready to talk to you about only good comics. This time we're talking about Archie, Volume 1 by Mark Waid, Fiona Staples, Annie Wu, and Veronica Fish. This was a few years ago, and it was part of this new era of Archie where they kind of reinvented the world of Riverdale and kind of took it in a different direction. I don't remember, I think it predated Riverdale or it was coming around the same time. I don't remember exactly, but it was following like Afterlife with Archie and all that. And I remember when they announced this, how excited I was because I'm a fan of Mark Waid, I'm an Archie fan, and I wanted to see what they were going to do with this beloved franchise that's been around for a very long time. So, before we get into this, I just want to talk a little bit about my experience with Archie. And I kind of talked about this in the Afterlife with Archie video that I did a while back. But my love for Archie goes back to the very beginning of me reading comics. Some of the three first comics that I remember ever reading were from a 3-pack that my mom and my aunt got me and my cousin at a little convenience store when we were about 8 years old. And we were on a family camping trip and it was pouring down rain, so we had nothing to do. And so they got us these 3-packs of comics, and the first three that I remember were an Iron Man, a Firestorm, and an Archie. And I had never heard of Archie. I didn't know who Archie was. But from that point on, I read Archie for years after that, whether it was a random issue that mom would buy me with my stack of like Casper and Heathcliff and stuff like that, or it was a digest or a double digest that I got at like a Walgreens or in the checkout of a grocery store. And I read Archie well into like my early teens when I discovered other comics and comic shops. Now I'd read other comics too, like I said, Iron Man, Firestorm. My cousin had a big stack of Batman comics, different things like that, but they were random and sporadic. But when I found comic shops, Archie started fading away, right? Occasionally I would pick up, like if they did a special, Archie meets TMNT, meets the Punisher. Later on when they would do the specials like Archie gets married, that kind of stuff, I would read all that. But there for a while I wasn't reading any Archie. And I've always been a fan of Archie and his whole cast of characters, but I'd kind of outgrown it a little bit, right? It was gag strips. It was fine for a fun little read, and even occasionally, well into adulthood, I would pull out some of my digests and read, stuff that I'd read when I was a kid, just to get a little laugh, just to get me something. If I needed, a pick me up or whatever, I would pull out a digest and just read a short or two, just to get a little giggle. Even if it was corny, whatever, it didn't matter to me. It was fun, right? Archie was fun. So they obviously started changing direction, started doing more serious stuff. They did the Afterlife with Archie. We knew Riverdale was going to be CW drama, moody, had that supernatural bend and everything. But this was something different. And what this did was fill the gap. And it filled the gap in multiple ways. So the vibe with this particular version of Archie, which they did a decent run, several volumes. I don't know how many I have back here, but like all these, and I don't think I have all of them, but it was a decent run. This one collects the first 6 issues, by the way, and what this did was it kind of revamped Archie for a slightly older crowd. I would say like this is YA and above. You could still read this if you're a kid though and get some enjoyment out of it. What it did was it took the concept of Archie and elevated it a little bit, but not too much to where you're alienating the original audience. So it features like cohesive stories and kind of dealing with more relationship stuff and a little bit more drama, but it still kept the hijinks. It still kept some of the humor. Archie's still a klutz. He still drives a beat up car that's kind of falling apart. He still has girl troubles, and he's got Betty and Veronica and other girls interested in him, and he's still awkward, that kind of stuff. Jughead's still Jughead, and Reggie's still scheming. It's all the same stuff. It's just elevated a little bit. So I think this version of Archie was like perfect for either people that grew up with Archie but kind of outgrew the goofiness and wanted something a little bit different, and also for people coming into Archie that are looking for something that's not, you know, superhero and not heavy, but is just kind of, you know, fun and light and romantic and all that good stuff, that good feeling that you get from Archie. So, and I think this is perfect. And the art style, Fiona Staples did a wonderful job kind of reinventing Archie, and Veronica Fish later on kind of carried that on. But it's like really good art, but it's very slice of life style of art. Still has like the exaggerated you know, stuff, but you also get some cool shots like Archie's dad playing the guitar there, some like extreme close-up stuff that just is kind of cool and moody, and you got, you know, him wailing away on the guitar there. So just some fun stuff here. But talking about the story itself, we open up with Archie and he narrates this himself. He breaks the fourth wall. He talks to the camera, talks to the reader, kind of telling the story. And he starts it off with, once we get introduced to Betty, which is on like page 2 or 3, he brings up the reason that they're not together anymore, and it's the hashtag lipstick incident. And we don't find out what this is until issue 4. So it kind of builds this mystery, like what happened to them? What happened to? And it gets brought up every time. He's like, don't ask about it. Everybody wants to know. Don't want to talk about it. All that kind of stuff. And we finally get to it in issue 4, and we learn what it is. And it's interesting. It was worth the build up, I think, and it kind of set the stage for where they're at. But since they were broken up, Archie's with Veronica, because that's what happens with Archie, right? And Betty's moved on. She's with a dude named Trevor who's kind of handsy, so you're dealing with that whole thing. Veronica's got issues with her dad, as always. Archie's gets himself involved with Lodge, with Veronica's dad kind of working for him and stuff. Here's a look at Trevor. And, you know, which is classic. That's kind of what Archie always did. We had Betty kind of trying to reinvent herself a little bit through this one. Yeah, here it is, Archie kind of already messing up and klutzing around on the job. And he ends up causing some major stuff to go down. This is in issue 2, I think. So yeah, I mean, it's just the same hijinks, like I said, that you would expect from Archie. And here's a look at Archie and Veronica together. But like I said, a little bit elevated, and you're dealing with some different stuff. So you're trying to walk it back. He's got troubles with Veronica as well. And, you know, he wants to mend fences with Betty. So we, like I said, we learn what the lipstick incident is. There's other stuff going on. Reggie's working in the behind the scenes, trying to mess stuff up as well. And by the end of this particular arc, you find Reggie kind of sticking it to Archie like he normally would. There's a look at Reggie right there. And it leads us into issue 2 and the second arc, where Reggie's kind of making Archie's life, you know, crappy again. And so it's fun and it's light, but like I said, again, it gives you a little bit more than you would get from those gag strips, because you have this cohesive story. You have this story of these teenagers that are kind of navigating high school and trying to figure themselves out and figure each other out and figure relationships out. So if you like that kind of stuff, that high school drama stuff with a little comedic flair in there, then I think you'll really like this. If you're a fan of Mark Waid's writing or Fiona Staples' art, you're going to like this as well. And as far as this collection, you also get a special preview of Chip Zdarsky's Jughead issue number 1. And there's a cover gallery. I think when this came out, there were like 30 covers to it or something like that. Or maybe it was 50. I don't remember. Let's see. Maybe it was only 25. I don't know. There was a lot. That's all the issue 1 covers. And I know that we got like 5 or 6 of them. But you also get some process stuff in the back, and then, like I said, that special preview of Jughead #1. So this was a really good introduction to this new version of Archie that they were experimenting with, honestly, and it was a successful experiment for a while. It ran its course, and they kind of reverted back, and now they're doing these one-shot specials that feature like kind of anthology issues more often than not. I think they're still doing the digests, which are like just repackaged classic, gag strips. But this was a nice change of pace for Archie for a while, and I really enjoyed it. I wish this version of Archie was still going on. I would still be reading it, but I highly recommend, if you're an Archie fan at all, or if you like these kind of stories, to hunt this down. Check this out. Archie Volume 1 from Mark Waid and Fiona Staples from, of course, Archie Comics. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so it does help the channel, and then of course hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss any content going up on this channel, and follow me across social media at Only Good Comics, and join me next time as we talk about only good comics. Until then, take care. Bye.